the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama, touchdown.
And everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into this, the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham, alongside Brett Pritchard, and we'll be with you for the next 2 hours, taking your phone calls, as always, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. We are into fall practice around the SEC. It is an exciting time for football fans to high school football about to get underway. College football will be here before you know it. And we're kind of in the middle of an SEC preview. We'll look at South Carolina and Mississippi State. Tonight on the preview, conference realignment is going on in college football, radical realignment. Major League Baseball still in the heat of things. The college football poll, preseason poll comes out this week. Jarquez Hunter's back at Auburn. Auburn's recruiting is going through the roof. I don't know what in the world. I feel like a stranger in a strange land at the moment.
Should, because we were strangers in a strange land for the last couple of years. Glad that guy's not in charge anymore. Glad that we got rid of all the powers that be, because they were on a fast track taking our school to the depths of AHSAA. I mean, outside of any other word I can come up with. Really, that's how far we had fallen, which is sad. I think I'll still be talking about Brian Harsin in the year, 2058, I'm sure, because he just, Amy, I think you and I, we talked about it a bunch while I was there. And when you're in the moment, you don't realize. We knew it was bad, but when you take a 30,000-foot view now that he's gone, we were in bad shape, man. This guy was way in over his head. The fact that Alan Green and the powers that be hired this clown to run this program in this conference with everything going on. I mean, the last 3 years of college football have changed more than the previous 75. I mean, you talk about NIL, you talk about collective, you talk about transfer portal, you talk about, adding teams to conferences, and all the stuff that's been going on, all while you had a guy that was clueless at the wheel of your ship. That's not a good time to have a guy clueless at the wheel of your ship. And so it was, man, we're fortunate. I'll just say that. We're fortunate.
You said many times, and many people have said on the Auburn Blitz, on the show that we do, I remember the conversation being, if we don't get rid of Harsin pretty quick, he's going to set us back a long way. And I'll be honest, I used to think that was
sometimes you
probably
have to act.
Alarmist. I thought that was maybe going too far, because Auburn has always bounced back. But then, I started thinking about that when you were talking. We were on the verge, and make no mistake about it. Don't make no mistake about it. If Brian Harsin was still the head coach at Auburn, we would have a losing season this year.
A losing season.
So
I don't know who we'd be putting on the field. I'm being dead honest.
I'm saying, and that would be 3 losing seasons in a row.
All right, so think about this.
That hadn't happened in my lifetime or yours.
That's right. Well, I think
that happened in a lot of lifetimes.
I think what you need to look at here'd be something interesting to look at, and I got something I want to ask you, and I want you to see. I want to see your take on this, but I'm going to pull Auburn's depth chart up in a minute. We talked about it on Auburn Blitz today. Who would be on that depth chart going into this season in 3 weeks with Brian Harsin at the head coaching position? Jair Shorter wouldn't be there. Shane Hooks wouldn't be there. No. All those offensive linemen that they got would not be there. They were losing and hemorrhaging people at a massive rate while he was still the coach. Who would we have put out there? It would have been, Andy, it would have been the worst Auburn football team in mine and your lifetime, and it's including 2012. 2012 was...
They might not have played as bad as that team, but overall talent would have been worse for sure.
I think it would have. I think they would have played as... 2012 actually showed in 13 they had talent on that team.
They did.
I don't think this would have been... You can't survive Andy, and we had multiple coaches in this league, and I believe it was former coach at Georgia, Jim Donnan, on a show that said, I look at Auburn's roster and they look like Vanderbilt. And so that was when we had.
And I ridiculed him for that statement.
Well, you ridiculed him because we had 2 or 3 guys that just got drafted on that roster that were on the defensive front. Think about that. He said that with the 3 guys that we had on the defensive side of football that actually got drafted and were pretty high. They weren't going to be here this year.
Yeah.
So we were Vanderbilt in his eyes with those guys on the roster. All right, so I got some. I'll go through the roster here in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, I thought that Colin Cowherd said something this week that really, really woke me up about all this realignment and everything that's going on in the world of college football. And you and I grew up in an era where Nebraska was king. Nebraska was a dominant football program. If you'd have told me and you in 1990 or 1991 that in 2023 Nebraska would be basically insignificant, obsolete, we'd have laughed in your face because they were. But you're at the height of your.
I'd say what disaster has been
what meteor?
football.
Yeah, what meteor hit to knock Nebraska out? He's made a prediction on who he thinks is the next Nebraska. That means a team that right now is going to national championship playoffs, competing for national championships, is in the hunt year in and year out. He thinks now the SEC will be completely obsolete within 5 years.
Somebody in the SEC?
Somebody that's headed to the SEC. Oklahoma.
Really?
He thinks Oklahoma is destined to be the next Nebraska. He said, and if I remember what he said correctly, he said last year Oklahoma signed 3 kids from their own state. He says the fewest amount of kids that they've ever signed from the state of Oklahoma. He talked about the talent pool being from Oklahoma and it just not being what it was. So them having to go outside and get other players. He said, now you're pulling them into the SEC. He said, do you really think that Oklahoma's going to pull kids from Florida and Georgia and Alabama, and they could possibly, but they're going to beat out Auburn and Alabama and Florida and Georgia and LSU to go play at Oklahoma? They got to go way out there when they've been growing up in the Southeast wanting to play for all these schools down here. He just thinks that they're on a fast track to be Nebraska, that they're going to be the biggest team that struggles the most in this realignment in the SEC. He thinks Texas will be fine. We all can agree that Texas has been mediocre for a while, but they have funds and they're a national brand. They're an international brand. And
there is enough talent in Texas.
There is enough talent in Texas, and they still are the team in Texas. Oklahoma's not. It's South Carolina almost. South Carolina and Clemson, that state, you can't survive on talent alone in that state. Clemson's done well, and they've gone out and made themselves a national brand with Dabo Swinney. Has anybody got any confidence in Brent Venables?
Not after.
Of course, I wish him nothing but the worst after he ran his mouth about Auburn. So I hope he falls on his face. But I don't think there's any confidence that Brent Venables is going to get Oklahoma or keep Oklahoma in this. They already don't play defense, and they sucked last year. If you want to look back, and he's a defensive-minded coach in an offensive-minded world. I agree with Colin Cowherd on this. He thinks that Oklahoma is going to fall into irrelevancy very soon when they get in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly strong argument. It's hard to refute it. I mean, look, before Bob Stoops got there, people forget Oklahoma was not very good. John Blake
Bingo.
was the head.
I think that's what he's.
Was the head coach.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, and so, it's kind of like they had this really exceptional run because of a really, really good coach, and they kind of been living off of that. They locked into another one because Bob Stoops was smart enough to hire a guy like Lincoln Riley. Now those guys are gone. You make one bad decision, and maybe Venables turns it around.
Didn't we see this happen?
Maybe he does great, but
I don't think so.
If he's
not
a very good head coach, here we go. It may set you back for a while. And the SEC is not something you want to kind of climb out of a hole.
What happened to Nebraska, Andy? When Tom Osborne left, they had Frank Solich. And Frank Solich was a good coach. I mean, what did he average? 9, 10 wins a year?
He probably averaged 9. He won 10 one year, I know.
So, but was not up to Nebraska standard. No, was not up to Nebraska standard.
I don't guess he won Big Ten 12 times.
I don't know if he did. I'd have to pull that up. I'm not up to their standards, but it was very eerily similar to Georgia. Now, Georgia took the step. Mark Richt was a solid coach, could never get over the hump, but Georgia is in a whole different region than Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's going to struggle to get a coach. I'm not sold on Brent Venables at all. It has not been a good start for him out there.
No.
Following Lincoln Riley. I don't know. I just thought that was a very interesting take by Colin Cowherd. He seemed pretty convinced himself. After hearing his argument, I've got to side with him. We'll see. But do you think it's going to get easier in this league for Oklahoma? Oklahoma was struggling in the Big 12 as it was dying. They're going into the gauntlet now.
That's for sure.
Let's see what they do this year. Let's see what they do this year.
Solich there? Well, I can't remember. When did Osborne retire? I'm kind of remembering. But was Solich there with Eric Crouch when he won the Heisman? And they played for the national championship?
I think he was.
Got hammered by Miami?
I think he was the head coach.
So,
I don't think it was Osborne.
I think that, that he led
Frank
them to
Solich had a good career at Nebraska.
Yeah.
I'll pull his record up. But, I remember always saying, Nebraska had fallen off a little bit, Andy, comparable to what we were used to with Tom Osborne just beating everybody's brains out.
Yeah.
But, they were a dynasty basically there. I mean, they were the team. They had just drilled Florida. They put 70 on them in a national championship game with Tommy Frazier. So
they've had a lot. They had a lot more success in the Big 12 than they've had in the Big 10. They've been irrelevant in the Big 10.
They've been irrelevant really since Solich left.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be interesting. Now these teams, and I thought Luke made a good point on the show today when he called in. That all of a sudden, everybody that was for a 12-team playoff. They were thinking they were going to stay in their conferences as is, and it was going to be a little bit easier. Now, the Big Ten's got 18 teams. The SEC's on the cusp of having 18. If they were to add, Florida State and Clemson, that would make 18 in the SEC when you add Oklahoma and Texas. I mean, this is just a grab fest right now. You got Stanford and Cal wanting to come to the ACC. I mean, we've lost all relevance to what we've got going on. And there's going to have to be some major sit down and look at this restructuring, because I thought Eli Drinkwitz raised some really good points the other day in his speech. Football's going to be fine, they'll figure it out. But all these other sports, man, this isn't going to work. This is not a good business model. And that's what these schools are in the business to do, is make money. And flying a women's volleyball team out to Eugene, Oregon from Michigan State in the middle of the week to play a match doesn't make sense.
You think about, now to your point, think about this. Most every school, in Power 5 school for sure, offers about 20 varsity sports. That's combined men's and women's. That's 19 other than football, right? So,
right.
I mean, to your point, so Clemson going out to Stanford, Washington going to Penn State, Stanford going to Miami. I'm talking about 9 months out of the year, Brett. That's a lot of flying coast to coast.
Right.
Now, what if the climate change people say, "Hey, you got to ban air travel. This is too much."
Yeah, we're adding more. We're adding a lot more.
The world.
Well,
so and they do it. That's a long bus ride.
It's an extremely long bus. It's just not going to work, Andy.
Yeah,
Boy, we got a lot to get to, and apparently our mics are not working. It sounds like we're in the distance. So I'm not sure anybody heard anything we said at all on this. I mean, we got people watching. Yeah, I heard what you said, and you heard what I said. So, but it sounds like we're way away. So I'm not sure our mics are really picking up anything. So hopefully we can fix this at the break.
We'll try to do that.
That's right.
Let's take a break. We'll be back with more of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Forvis Auto Sales, located on Highway 280 in Kellyton, is all about selection and service. Selection of clean, sharp used cars, trucks, and SUVs selected by Robert Forbes himself. Service. Forbes Auto Sales is all about servicing vehicles on the lot, but also servicing your personal vehicle. Keep this in mind. If you don't see what you're looking for on the lot, just tell old Robert to go shopping for you. That's what he does. Personal service, and that's what it's all about at Forbes Auto Sales in Kellyton.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you until 9 o'clock tonight.
Baby.
Having some technical difficulties. Well,
the commercials sound good.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's the most important thing.
Bear with us.
So
perhaps we can get it figured out before 9 o'clock tonight. But we were talking.
We're still terrible.
Still terrible.
Yeah, we're still terrible.
Okay.
We sound like we're 40 feet away from our microphone.
Okay.
Yours isn't picking up mine. There is a mic somewhere in this room picking up. It's not this.
Is it on the camera?
And it's not that one. So
should we move forward right to the camera?
I don't know what that is.
Shall we proceed?
I think we probably shall fight through this segment and see what we can do. And then, folks, bear with us. We got people watching, obviously, and we apologize for this. So we'll just keep trying to trudge right along and see if we can fix it. But no, it's not the most pleasant stuff. But you know what? We're gonna fight through. We fought through the Brian Harsin years at Auburn. We don't quit here on Sports.
No, we don't. We're troopers.
We are troopers.
That's for sure.
We're
talking about conference realignment. Radical realignment.
Yes.
It's headed toward. I started thinking about this, and I think Wade, I think it was on the show today, made a good point. It's not that this is, and I think this is not conference realignment is not unprecedented, not at all. It's just the speed with which it is happening. You think about it, the Southwest Conference.
Right.
It was around for 40 years. All those teams in Texas, Arkansas, one of the strongest
Do you
conferences
remember the
out
Big
there.
8?
Yeah.
How long ago does that sound?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It seemed like one of the strongest conferences out there. And then all of a sudden, SMU got the death penalty. And by 1996, it was gone.
Evaporated.
Big 8. It went to the, they started.
They became the Big 12.
They became the Big 12. Started out the Pac-8. Then it went to the Pac-10.
Right.
Then it went to the Pac-12.
And then they went beyond the Pac-12. They had more teams than 12, but they left the name the same. The Big 10 did the same.
Absolutely. Do you remember the WAC?
Oh, yeah.
The WAC is gone. Remember the Big East?
Yeah.
The Big
growing
East,
up, you and
that
I.
was basketball.
That was the basketball league.
I mean, that was it. Could you ever imagine if I told you, hey, Big East ain't going to exist in 20 years?
That just shows you, man, at the top of your game, I guess that's why Colin Cowherd brought up the fact that it's hard to fathom that Oklahoma could be irrelevant in a few years, but it can happen. We saw it happen in Nebraska. We've seen conferences that you thought would be locked in for generation upon generation evaporate overnight, like we saw the Pac-12. You can't get comfortable, and that's why that's another reason why at Auburn, I know, quit signing absurd buyouts for these coaches. If it's not working, get rid of that guy and move to another guy. You don't have time anymore, Andy, to say, well, give this guy 3 or 4 years. If we had decided to make that decision with Brian Harsin, we would be irrelevant. In this world of college football, it would be impossible to try to catch back up to the likes of Georgia. We've let Georgia get away from us tremendously. You and I, growing up, Georgia was always a nip-tuck, even-Steven football game. Nobody ever believed. Do you remember the stat they brought up every single year? This series has been played 100 times, and there's 8 points at the side, and it's so close. I mean, we have allowed them to sprint away from us in the last 12 to 14 years. It's embarrassing. It really is, because we should never be that far away from Georgia. I mean, Georgia, credit them. They were a sleeping giant since 1980. And they have squandered many opportunities, and a lot of us had won national championships since they had won their last one. They were the laughing stock. Tennessee had won one. We've won one, played for another. Alabama had won 1,800 since then. Florida had won several. LSU had won 7, and there's Georgia sitting there with nothing. Now they've won 2 in a row and staring down the barrel of number 3. I don't know who can stop them, really. So, yes, you can. Everything can flip on its head if you sit there and are complacent.
No question about it. I think part of that, I mean, Georgia's kind of the anomaly. I mean, Alabama has obviously kind of opened it up too a little bit, but Auburn was competitive with pretty much everybody in the Gus Malzahn area. It was just Georgia that seemed to have our number. That just
exactly. They sprinted away from us, and of course Nick Saban.
Big reasons for that.
And Nick Saban did what it. But I thought relatively compared to everybody else in the conference and how dominant Nick Saban was on Tennessee and other teams that had not ever beaten Nick Saban, Arkansas and Mississippi State, and the list goes on, that we had to live in this state with that guy, and we win a game every 3 or 4 years and kind of hold our own. But Georgia hadn't been the case since, we haven't been able to figure them out.
Well, the whole realignment thing, money is pushing it. Everybody wants to be a part of something bigger, something better. And they've seen what the SEC has done with TV contracts. They're getting richer. The Big Ten now is getting so much richer, and everybody looks at that and says, okay, I want to be a part of that. That's why you see these teams jumping to the big leagues in the Big Ten and the SEC. Right. But it's all a money grab, and that's not going to change. So, we will figure it out, but I don't like the point is, what about everybody else? How does everybody else work it out? Because they don't make enough to sustain themselves. They have to depend on football to do that. So it should be interesting.
Right.
We got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you until 9 o'clock. We'll see. 256-234-6221 is our number here. Thank you for all of you out there being with us. Brought to you each and every day, or each and every Tuesday evening, rather, by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Great place to have lunch or dinner right here in Alexander City. Great people, great atmosphere, great food there at JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Well, we got high school coming up. I know we're in the middle of talking college, and we're going to do a preview here, but we'd be remiss, Andy, we're just a couple and 2.5 weeks away from the high school football season starting. And, you know, right here are our friends at the Alabama Football Historical Society. It's literally maybe my favorite website on the internet.
It's good.
I get more joy out of going over there and looking at the stuff that they do, and they've taken it even step further here, and they're breaking down every single classification, and they're releasing a new one every day. They released 6A today, I believe, and they go ahead and do a quick look at the top 10 and who they think is going to be in the top 10 and who they think is going to be in the playoffs. You know, they don't necessarily predict who's going to win it, but there's a lot of stuff to dive into, and I encourage all of you out there, AHSFHS.org, Alabama High School Football Historical Society.org, and check out all this unbelievable information they've compiled. It is a treasure trove of stuff.
It is.
In 6A football, at the preseason top 10 in 6A, which most people think, and most media people think 6A top to bottom is the toughest in the whole state. And that's including 7A. 7A, now the top half of 7A, the top, I won't say half, the top 4 or 5 in 7A are extremely dominant. Outside of that, everybody kind of messes. There's probably 20 to 25 teams on a given year in 6A that can win, depending on what happens. The top 10 for 6A, for our local people here that are interested, Carver, Montgomery, they predict them to go. Actually, they're using last year's record, so this is not a prediction of what they'll be. But they've got Carver, Montgomery at 10, Muscle Shoals at 9, Parker at 8, Spanish Ford at 7, and Hartselle at 6. The top 5 are Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa at 5, Benjamin Russell at 4, Mountain Brook at 3, Clay Chalville at 2, and Saraland at number 1. If this were to hold, you're looking at possible Clay Chalville and Mountain Brook playing in the semifinal in one bracket, and Benjamin Russell and Saraland playing in the semifinal in the other bracket to see who goes to the state championship game.
That'd be pretty fun.
That'd be pretty fun. We'd enjoy that around these parts for sure. There's some tidbits of information that they throw in. Saraland will be the team to beat according to them. Obviously, we feel the same way with KJ Lacey and with Ryan Williams, who may be one of the best players we've ever seen play in the state, and still has a couple of years left at Saraland, so he's going to be around. Clay Chalville won it 2 years ago, but got put out in the first round last year. Drew Gilmer's a good friend of mine, the head coach there. He was as shocked as anybody losing to Parker there in the first round, but just shows you, man, you can get beat.
And Saraland won.
Saraland won it, beat Mountain Brook. But Clay Chalville has Jalen Mbakwe and DJ Barber and a host of guys that are threats. The next one, obviously, Benjamin Russell is loaded to the hilt on offense. Quarterback that threw for close to 3,000 yards last year as a senior's back, close to 30 touchdowns, only 4 or 5 interceptions last year. Malcolm Simmons on that team, who just committed to Auburn, along with 4 other unbelievable wide receivers, and basically a returning offensive line. They're a team that could easily score 42 to 45 points a night. You're looking at the top 4 or 5 teams. Add Clay Chalville, Mountain Brook, Benjamin Russell, Saraland, and even Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. You're looking at 5 really dynamic football teams, Andy, in 6.
A lot of offensive football nowadays. You're not going to see a lot of 7-6 scores anymore.
No.
A lot of explosive guys. A lot of those guys, a lot of those names you threw out there, committed to local states and colleges here.
And guess who's back in 6A? Or guess who's back in the coaching realm? Rush Probst at Pell City. Watch that. Watch that story.
It won't take long.
It won't.
They will be. He will get them back.
Well, they got a quarterback from California. Right out of the gate. Rush, and look, we can kind of let the hair down a little bit on this show. It's going to be a soap opera. He's already been in a FU battle with Oxford at a 7-on-7, and it made headlines a few weeks ago. Oxford and Pell City they're pretty much rivals. They don't like each other, and Oxford, I believe, kind of ran the score up on them, and I think he probably felt like it was directed at him, and there was some jawing back and forth, and Rush Probst went out in the middle of the field and told everybody to F off. So, the headline on AL.com was Rush is back. So it didn't take long to find out where it's – but, this is what you're going to be dealing with. Pell City didn't win a game last year. I think they won 1 game the year before, so they'd fallen off. He's not going to stand for that. He's won for everything, and if you may not like him, but the guy knows how to win, and he does it however he's got to do it.
Everywhere he's gone, he has won, and not just won, but as far as I know, played for state titles.
Everywhere.
Everywhere he's been.
Valdosta when he went to Georgia.
One family, two families.
You know, he got caught on caught on video or on tape.
On MTV, not on MTV. Paying players, not paying players. However, whatever the circumstances are, the guy has played for titles.
Pell City opens up with Moody.
Makes you wonder what the superintendent or whoever the principal at Pell City, what that press conference was like when they were like, why did you hire this guy again?
Yeah, exactly. You know, here's some notes here.
But then again, I think everybody knew the answer.
Well, everybody knew the answer. Pell City opens up against a very good Moody team that has Amon Lane. You know, Amon Lane's one of the top 15 cornerbacks in the country. He's committed to Auburn. They also have Clay Chalkville and Center Point on their schedule. It's not going to be easy. They've got some horrendous.
Oh, I'm not saying it's happening.
No, it's not going to happen this year, but they've got a horrendous schedule. But they'll change their demeanor for sure over there. I mean, if you look at it, some other things, I'll just run down this real quick. Here are your region champs predicted by FHS, I believe. Did I say that right? AHSFHS.org. Region 1, Saraland. Region 2, Carver Montgomery. Region 3, Benjamin Russell. Region 4, Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. Region 5, Mountain Brook. Region 6, Clay Chalkville. Region 7, Hartselle. And Region 8, Fort Payne. That's your region champs there, according to them. Just in a little fun preseason prediction, but I'm just going to say selfishly for me and you, it's good to see the Wildcats up there in the talk of being in contention.
There's
for
no
state
question about it, and I will say to you, and I will say to everybody, enjoy the good times because inevitably it's an ebb and flow, and there are always
this going to come back
times. But these are good times. Enjoy them.
We've surfed some low waves, but we're on a high one now. We were 8-3 last year. Went back to the playoffs, played a phenomenal Hueytown team in the first round that had Earl Woods there as quarterback. That's at Jacksonville State now. Was a phenomenal player, All-State. And now it's Benjamin Russell's turn. They're senior laden. They got the players. Teams are going to have to play well to beat them. Not saying they'll go undefeated, but teams are going to have to match their athleticism and their physicality.
Think we got the technical difficulties fixed? I got a thumbs up.
How about that?
So if you can tell me, maybe if somebody's listening,
that's why you fight.
Let us know. Are they better?
We can go to break now.
We'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your
professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. What, about 35 more minutes or 25 more minutes left in the first hour
Wow,
of
that
tonight's
went by
program.
fast. So we fall,
Well, the
fall
clock,
through.
yeah, it is, I can't. The clock is a little bit
Come
off
on
here.
now, you can't read that.
No. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We're brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air. For all your heating and cooling needs, give Kevin Kill and his crew a call. They can help you out with that. My air conditioning kind of went out just for a few minutes. The power flickered, and it stopped kind of cooling for a minute.
Make you freak out.
And I mean,
this
it
time of year.
went from 74 in the house to 70 to 80 in about 5 minutes. And we were like, oh, we got a problem.
Yeah. That one's definitely Houston got a problem. Tomorrow, 5A will be released, and then on Thursday, 4A will be released. Friday, 3A will be released. Saturday, 2A, and Sunday, 1A. So on the Alabama High School Football Historical Society. Make sure you go to their website and check that out. Again, we just went through 6A. I'll go through 7A real quick, just the top 10. Shocker, Thompson's number 1. Phoenix City 2. Hewitt Trustful comes in at 3 this year. Auburn 4. Hoover number 5. So look at that right there. Those two regions have all 5 teams in the top 5. This thing is so top heavy with that region in East Alabama and that region in Birmingham. And then you add 6 Austin, Vestavia Hills 7, Mary Montgomery 8, team from Mobile, Dothan 9, and Florence 10. You have another team from that Birmingham region there coming in at 7 in Vestavia Hills. I mean, you basically look at the playoff teams, Phoenix City, Auburn, Dothan, and Opelika. They think Opelika is going to make the 7A playoffs. They missed it last year. They play Thompson to start the high school season this year in Montgomery, the kickoff classic on Friday night. So that could be a really, really good one. I think we've got a call, Andy. So let's go to the phone line. Caller, go ahead. You're on Sports Blitz Live.
How y'all doing today?
Man, we're good. How are you?
Hey, I ain't had no problem with y'all. I ain't had no problem with y'all talking since 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're glad. Well,
yeah, y'all just playing it all get out to me.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Still sounding good, right?
Just one question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, these high schools, is having 7-on-7.
Right.
And
they're over now.
I got a great nephew. He's named Braden Phillips. He's the probably going to be the second string quarterback at middle school.
Okay.
I heard where all the coaches have been talking down in Opelika.
Okay.
I heard the David coach last night, and I just wonder what y'all thought about it. He said he didn't believe in 7-on-7.
Yeah, I heard the press conference at Media Days. I'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll discuss it.
He said he didn't like 7-on-7 because he likes his players to rest and all that. And I don't know that coach's name at David.
It's Roger McDonald.
But he said that they just wait till.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss it, brother. We appreciate the call, buddy.
18th.
Yeah, we appreciate it, brother.
That's what I meant. All right, y'all have a great day.
Thank you, buddy. You too. Have a good one. Yeah, I mean, every coach has got his run your program like you want to. I mean, he had an undefeated season last year, but he had a boatload of talent at Dayville, and they lost a lot of kids to graduation. Some tremendous athletes off that team, and so. we'll see how they rebound. He's not a big fan. They don't do those at Dadeville. I think in this day and age with the way, he said, look, you don't win championships in the winning a trophy in a 7-on-7 when your crowd can't come and watch. And this is his quotes. It doesn't really mean anything. I think in this new day and age of offense, I think you have to kind of look at how you match up in the summer. It gives you a chance to compete against other high schools in skeleton drills. That's all it is, Andy. It's the old skeleton drill where you don't have a line, but it's your wide receivers against DBs and linebackers and running backs on the offensive side. And
Dadeville doesn't throw the ball around a lot anyway, do they?
They don't, but they threw it a good bit last year with Rambo back there at quarterback. But, I don't know really who will take over the reins for them down there this year. And Roger McDonald is an old-school coach that likes to run the football and really likes to play power football. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing like a chopper going by either in mid-sentence. But
sounded like he did a donut in the parking lot.
I think he did. I can smell the smoke coming through the vents. But anyway, that's, again, he's the head coach. He runs the program like he sees fit. I just think in this day and age, if you want to if you do throw the football, it's good to kind of see and give your guys some opportunities to compete in the summer against other schools before you put the pads on. Again, you win games in the trenches. I know that. Everybody knows that. We talked about it on Auburn Blitz today. Lord knows we've watched Auburn enough be putrid up front to know that makes a big difference. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah,
so,
but isn't 7-on-7 a lot of the way that these kids get exposed?
It's exactly how they get exposure. I actually had a coach tell me a couple years ago, I won't mention names or teams, obviously, but he said, I'm a mixed bag on 7-on-7s. He said, I love coming because I love giving our kids exposure, but he said, this is also a breeding ground for guys to get stolen. He said, man, when you come up here or you go somewhere and you compete in these 7-on-7s and you bring a great team up here and you're beating everybody, there's sharks swimming all around you. There's guys trying to come up to your guys and talk about transferring to their school. It's a problem.
Everybody I was just talking about college.
Oh, no.
But I mean.
No.
And that would be a good thing.
Well, no, you're right. It's a good time to be seen by colleges.
But
it's also a good time to be seen by other high schools trying to snatch your guys away.
Isn't that illegal?
Andy, what is the definition of illegal anymore?
Not legal?
I mean, but what is – it's whatever it gets enforced, I guess, right?
True.
Did you see the media days in Mobile? I mean, Terry Curtis and Steve Mask and, just – the whole group down there, Cottrell, that coached at Alabama, Ronnie Cottrell, and that's at Mobile Christian, who just had one of his star players transfer to another team. That he basically said, look, we had guys coming up to him last year after the game. He said it's out of control now. A lot of these coaches are calling other coaches out, and there's a lot of finger pointing. And Mark Freeman from Thompson had a big long thread on Twitter a few days ago talking about, well, if somebody's cheating, call them out. And he said, turn them in. He said, don't just sit here and chatter about it. Do something about it. If they're cheating, turn them in. But a lot of times, guys are hesitant because they've done things too. So it's a revolving. It's things. It's a double-edged sword here. I know that guys don't want to be, but hey, look, we've seen teams over the last 20 years had to forfeit a whole season, because a guy was played illegally or whatever.
True.
I don't know where it ends. It's out of control. There was another kid that just transferred. And again, these may be verified transfers, but Oxford, one of their top players, just transferred to Gulf Shores yesterday.
Well, I'd like to live in Gulf Shores.
Well, I mean, of course. Yeah, right. This isn't Oxford moving to Anniston.
No.
This is, I can understand.
Well,
and again, to each his own. If it's a bona fide move, it is what it is.
If mom or dad got a new job, paid a lot more money.
Right.
Of course, then you say, well, how'd they get that job? It's a rabbit hole. We got to take another break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
It's truck season. At Sarah Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At Sarah Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season. At Sarah Honda, Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Nissan, and Sarah Chevrolet.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider. Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us at Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Coastal Construction Design is the area's storm specialist experts and offers free roof inspections absolutely free to assess your needs. Their roofing experts get your home or commercial needs handled from start to finish. They have worked with all major insurance sources for decades, and they are permitted and approved for Lake Martin. Coastal Construction Design also handles exterior restoration, including siding and gutters. They are also a GAF certified contractor. Visit coastalconstruction.pro or call 251-215-3429. Coastal Construction Design. All things roofing from start to end.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Just one more segment left in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Let's talk a little bit about the South Carolina Gamecocks. We're doing an SEC preview. We've been doing it for the last several weeks. We'll continue this on up till the season. South Carolina Gamecocks, Shane Beamer now in his third year. They have 7-6, 8-5, went 3-5 and 4-4 in the conference the last 2 years. Got some expectation this year. They beat the brains of Tennessee last year, very kind of surprisingly toward the end of the year. But but they beat Clemson. Went on the road and beat Clemson as well, 31.
They ended the season. I mean, I'm telling you.
They played Notre Dame and back and forth, and it ended up losing that bowl game. But man, this is a team. You get Spencer, or not Spencer, but what's his the quarterback?
Rattler.
You get Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Get him back. So I mean, there are some expectations with this team.
Yeah, I'm not bullish on them. I think it was a flash in the pan at the end of the year. Thought they were playing good. I don't have. I think North Carolina will beat them to start the season. They'll beat Furman.
That'll be a good test.
They'll get killed by Georgia at Georgia. They'll beat Mississippi State. Tennessee will have revenge. It won't be pretty in Knoxville. I think they'll start off, the season with with 3 losses. They'll be 2-3 after the first 5 games going into that bye. And then
the expectations would have been flushed down the toilet.
they're going to be flushed.
Yeah.
They're going to be flushed. They lost to Arkansas last year, got killed by Georgia. Then they went on a stretch where they beat Charlotte and South Carolina State, big whoop. They won at Kentucky, which was a little shocking. Texas A&M sucked. We know that win didn't end up amounting to much. They lost to Missouri. They struggled with Vanderbilt. They lost to Florida horrifically.
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know that Florida, they'll have to travel to South Carolina, be a good game. I would probably pick the Gators over them. At Missouri, they lost at home to Missouri. Why would they go to Missouri and win? Texas A&M, I think their back's against the wall. I'm going to predict South Carolina they've got some expectations. I think they're going to fall way short. They're going to be the team that falls way short of their expectations. I think they could win 5 or 6 games this year, and that'd be it.
Really?
Yep.
I think Rattler, I think they throw the ball really well. At times when he throws it to the right person. But he tends to throw a lot of interceptions as well. They didn't really stop a lot of people last year. They gave up nearly 200 yards rushing on the ground. So that's going to be a problem.
And they end with Kentucky and Clemson.
That's a difficult opening stretch, though, like you said.
I just think, they'll beat Furman, and they'll beat Mississippi State at home. I don't think they beat Georgia, Tennessee, or North Carolina. Now, again, the wild card there to determine whether they go 3-2 or 2-3 is North Carolina. It's that first game. But North Carolina's got a pretty good football team this year.
Got a good quarterback coming.
Yes, sir. Maybe the Heisman front runner by some stretches.
That's true.
So,
for sure. Memorable South Carolina games or players or coaches for you?
You got to look at obviously the running back we almost had and
Lattimore,
Marcus Lattimore. Stephen Garcia always stands out as a guy that you talk about a wild card. You didn't know what you were going to get. Obviously, his best game was that 2010 South Carolina-Alabama game.
Yep.
Played
well against us.
Right,
at home
right.
Against Cam.
Defensive end that was ranked, that was number 1 pick.
Clowney.
Jadavian Clowney. Just those guys stand out. Lou Holtz kind of came over and brought them out of the ashes. They needed that at the time.
I think he went 0-11 his first year, and then gradually got them back over a process to a bowl winning.
But they've never won anything, really. They don't have any banners.
It's such an odd dynamic. They won 9 games in 2010, got to the SEC title game, got blown out by Auburn, but still got there. Then the next 3 years, they win 11 games.
Spurrier, man.
And don't win the East.
Well, that just tells you that, Steve Spurrier, I don't think any coach at South Carolina, Shane Beamer included, will ever be able to match what Steve Spurrier did. And, you looked at Ole Miss. Ole Miss had never been to, and still has never been to, an SEC championship game. And the year that they beat us in Auburn, that was their year to have a chance to go, and they missed it. And there's windows of time that teams and programs. Mississippi State was ranked number 1 at one time. They had Dak Prescott. When those don't come around, but every blue moon for these programs, and when you miss your opportunity, you may never get back. And South Carolina missed a golden opportunity with three years of Spurrier having them at the top. And if Spurrier can't get you over the hump winning 11 games 3 years in a row, I don't know if anybody can.
I will say for Beamer, he is recruiting extremely well right now.
Yeah, but so is everybody else.
They're recruiting better than they were. So you would expect better results.
There'll be a better program. I think Hugh Freeze said it best. Hugh Freeze, he said, look, we're better in our roster, but so is everybody else. Can Shane Beamer take good players and go and do what he did last year and build on it? Can he build? Can you beat Clemson, Tennessee again? Can you beat Florida after they drummed you last year? Can you flip that script? Can you not lose to Missouri? Can you win games that you're supposed to win expectation-wise this year, or do you fall into the realm of mediocre like you do most of the time?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Lou Holtz and Steve Spurrier after that, I can't tell
now
you who the coaches were.
If they were to upset Georgia and knock off North Carolina and be 4-0 going into that Tennessee game, hold on.
They always used to give Georgia fits.
They did.
That has been a while since that.
Look, anything can happen. Georgia's playing with a brand-new quarterback this year. Now, again, athletically, that guy's going to be better. Carson Beck's going to be better than Stetson Bennett was. But Stetson Bennett, all he did was win 2 national championships. Georgia's first road game's at Auburn. It's going to be a difficult place to come in and play. Now, do they have better players? Absolutely. Will they have to play bad and Auburn play exceptional? Yes. But things happen. You play games on the field. Can South Carolina be hitting on all cylinders like they did against Tennessee? Tennessee answered a couple times, but then South Carolina just came back and gave them more and more. Yeah. Can they do that against Georgia? We'll see.
We'll see. Up against another break here. We'll be back with hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Hi, this is Jimmy Gorey at Gorey's Furniture. Come join us for the madness of March. Come join us here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, shoot from the line, 5, 10 to 15. That's % discount off your total ticket. So come join us. Let's have some fun. Everyone's a winner. Everyone will save. Come join us for the madness of March, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy Graham and Brett Pritchard here with you for one more hour in tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We're going to go back to the phone line and welcome in a very special guest, Mr. David Murray with the 24/7 Sports site covering Mississippi State athletics, as well as doing the Doghouse podcast. David, thank you so much for taking some time for us.
Gentlemen, good to talk with you from here in Starkville, and you called me at the right time because practice ended a little later today. They were supposed to go in the morning, which Zach Arnett set that schedule instead of afternoon practices. He's been going mid-morning, media talks about noon. There was rain and storms in Starkville today. They moved to the afternoon, but all the work got done. They were able to practice outdoors and got our interviews done with players as well, and a few notes. And you can, those interested, Mississippi State followers, or those who just want to kind of scout the opposition this year, Mississippi State, just go on our website. That's the Gene's Page site, 24/7 Mississippi State, and read our notebook, read our interviews, follow the videos as well. So this time of year, it's nonstop content on the website, and we appreciate Mississippi State making as much available as they do. That ends tomorrow as far as actual practice observation, because tomorrow, guys, the Bulldogs are going back to the farm, the South Farm practice field that Dan Mullen started some years ago. The last couple of coaches haven't used it, but Zach Arnett feels the farm field is there. Let's use it, add a little sense of, focus on the sport, isolation, and I think it's going to be productive. So Arnett's bringing back some of the tough-minded attitude that State's kind of lacked for a few years.
Yeah, David, Mississippi State's in a unique position, really, in the college football world. The tragedy last year with Mike Leach passing away, now Zach Arnett takes over. It's a completely different kind of offense. How is that transition going, do you think?
I think it's going pretty well. And here you're giving me an opportunity to address something that's become a kind of a narrative on Mississippi State's offense, even among people who know better, among regional and national media. They're assuming that because Bulldog blocking has spent the last 3 years blocking in the air raid, that they're going to have a tough time transitioning to Kevin Barbay's system, which is much more balanced, even with the emphasis on the run game first, or certainly the potential for the run game. I take the opposite tack after watching them in spring. And remember, too, most of these blockers, in college they blocked air raid, but in high school, junior college, they grew up run blocking. So I think this is going to be a much easier transition technique-wise, but attitude-wise, I'll let Cam Jones, right tackle, who we interviewed yesterday, say it best. We asked him, well, are you linemen excited about going to a run game offense? He said, I ain't going to lie to you. We're thrilled about it. We're getting ready to smash someone. He said they were tired of dropping back 80 times a game and blocking. Now they get to block straight ahead. So I feel good about that aspect of the offense. And State, of course, benefits by 4 of the starters coming back, as well as a guy who has played the open position. So offensive line comes back almost intact. Will Rogers, of course, is back, and he's proving he's more than an air raid quarterback in camp so far. The wide receivers are adapting well to it, mix and match. And glory hallelujah, tight ends are back in the Mississippi State offense. What Kevin Barbay is doing with his tight ends, whether as a true tight end, as an extra slot receiver, as an H-back type, as a motion man, almost a fullback type blocker, it is warming the heart of an old dog like myself who always enjoyed watching fullbacks operate to think, the muscle is back in the Bulldog offense.
Yeah, David, this is it's a brutal conference, and that's no secret to someone like you that covers it on a year in and year out basis. Andy just talked about the changing landscape of this conference, not only college football, but let's just focus on this conference. You had Texas and Oklahoma in, and we don't know that the SEC's done yet. That yet's to be seen. But let's look at where Mississippi State kind of falls. Again, brand new coach. I definitely think Zach Arnett has all the fire. Can Mississippi State keep themselves in a position in the Western Division to be competitive moving forward in this modern age of college football? Because look, let's be honest, the recruiting, it gets tougher and tougher, the NIL, the collective. It's a struggle for everybody. Alabama, Georgia, the Ohio States of the world, they're on top. And when you're on top in this new world, it's easy to kind of stay there because you got that momentum. If you're Mississippi State or even Auburn or anybody that we cover, it's tough trying to climb that mountain.
Well, I'll answer that in a couple of ways. And by the way, first let me address something that you just said there. I think the SEC's done expanding for a while. There's nobody out there that brings sufficient new value to the conference that justifies going beyond 16 teams and having to divide up that pie 18 ways. I know there's a lot of sentiment out there that says, oh, the SEC ought to snap up Florida State and Clemson right now. While they'd be fine additions competition-wise, I just don't think they really bring that much new money, because people obviously also don't understand that Disney, ESPN, who, by the way, Disney may be spinning them off at some point into a semi-separate operation, just don't have the windfalls that they used to. They've got to be more careful. So until the SEC is guaranteed absolutely sufficient new money to make up for having to divide that pie, I don't see the SEC expanding anytime soon unless the landscape radically changes. Okay, getting back to the recruiting angle, that's where a guy like Zach Arnett and the staff he has assembled is going to be key moving ahead. This season, yes, State's going to be plenty competitive in the SEC West. And by the way, this is the last year of the SEC West, so that's kind of a moot point moving forward. As far as recruiting will go, they're still going to build their recruiting around high schools first, which I think is the wise way to go in this situation. Then they will be selective in their use of the transfer portal as well. And State will not play the same NIL game that the Alabamas and Georgias and Floridas can play, which semi-legally, and soon I think it will be openly legal for them to use NIL funds from the school to recruit. State will use its NIL funds to retain players and then go after players in the transfer portal to flesh out your recruiting. I think that's going to be the way to go, and you have to have a staff that commits to that system and does it year after year after year instead of just trying to change on the fly. And that's where Zach Arnett adding some old dogs. Well, I'll give you an example. You're bringing back Will Friend to Mississippi State into the SEC, and that's a guy who knows how to recruit all over the conference. You're bringing back David Turner, who has proven that he can recruit defensive linemen and send them on to the NFL. His staff selections, I think, will really serve State well in the recruiting game. But the best way to recruit is first win, which I think State's going to do this year, and second, use your NIL monies wisely to retain the players that you really want to retain.
David, thank you so much for being with us and taking some time for us tonight.
Well, real quick, David, I want to ask one other question before we let you go.
Sure.
Obviously, nobody knows, but put your soothsayer hat on. What is Zach Arnett's record with Mississippi State in his first full year as a head coach?
I think in the first full year, I'm sitting after watching 5 days of practice. And by the way, like I said, that closes down for a few days of observation. But what I've seen, answering some of the questions I had in spring about the safety positions, maybe not answered them, but I feel better about the potential for putting a good safety trio together. Defensive edge, the outside linebacker, the end positions. Right now, if the transfer place kicker from UCLA comes through, the baseline for this team, minimum 8 wins, and I think they're certainly capable of 9 wins. But you know what, guys? Predicting has gotten a whole lot tougher since the transfer portal, because whereas you had a general idea of what every school had year to year based on high school recruiting, now look at Kentucky. They brought in so many people on the line of scrimmage that you really don't know what they are or aren't at this point. I use them as one example. That's a game that State has won every home game since the 2008 loss. But what's Kentucky this year? That's the kind of game that will determine what State's overall record is. They play South Carolina instead of Georgia this year. We go to South Carolina. I think State probably is better off, especially if Spencer Rattler has a Spencer Rattler-type off day. I feel good about that one. I like the chances. Certainly, I believe State should beat Auburn. I think they match up really well with Arkansas, even in Fayetteville this year. I think they match up favorably right now with what we know of Ole Miss. So I think State will sweep the non-conference games, including Arizona and Southern Miss this year. Then I think they'll win at least 4 conference games, and then it'll be toss-ups in a couple of them. LSU and Alabama are probably a little too far ahead at this point. But other than that, I don't see any unwinnable games on it, but I also see some losable games there. That's a long way of saying 8-4 is the baseline for the regular season. I think 9-3 is certainly within reach. And then it comes down to what bowl you match up with for Zach Arnett to get his chance at a second bowl victory. Because I'll say this for Greg Sankey, he knows how to push the buttons because he introduced Zach Arnett in Nashville at Media Days. I was there for the Mississippi State session and Commissioner Sankey's talk. He introduced him as the only undefeated head coach in the SEC. And he is 1-0 with that ReliaQuest Bowl win. And Zach Arnett, for all fans out there who question a guy who came from New Mexico and California, who, best I know, never set foot east of the Mississippi River until Mike Leach hired him almost sight unseen, he fits Mississippi State just about perfectly. I'm happy with him as head coach. I think he has the right game plan. I think he has the right staff. And I think he will appeal to the type recruit that Mississippi State historically has thrived upon. So that's my prediction. I think he will come out of this year, counting his bowl win last year. He will go into bowl season again this year with at least 9 and possibly 10 career wins.
Wow, David, you're bullish on the Bulldogs, no pun intended, man.
I picked them third in the SEC West.
Wow.
And now that's a close third. I still think they probably will be 4-4, 5-3, and I think so will a couple other teams. I think they'll finish third on tiebreak. But remember, last year's team was picked to finish 6th in the SEC West. They finished 3rd in the West and 6th overall in the conference because they beat the right people, the A&Ms and the Arkansas and others. That's why I'm picking them that strongly. It's a veteran team, especially a veteran offense. You know, Arnett's real challenge is going to be year 2 when he has to replace so many guys from the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. But for the first year, he's got a great situation to break in on. That's why I'm bullish on Mississippi State. That's not just homerism coming out. I've been doing this since 1979, and I lost my boosterism a long time ago. I legitimately think these Bulldogs have the potential to be that kind of team here in the last year of the Southeastern Conference Western Division.
Well, you cover them, David, so you know better than most out there making predictions. We appreciate you being on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Guys, thanks for calling.
Thank you, David.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after these messages.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you up until 9 o'clock. Your calls come first. Let's go back to the phone line.
Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Brett. Hey, Andy. How y'all doing tonight?
Terry, what's up, brother?
Hey, all that interview was lacking was Ricardo Montalban going, welcome to Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you and I are right there. I looked. You couldn't see my facial expression during the time that David Murray was talking. But when I asked him that last question, and I said, and he said bottom tier 8 and 4, I almost passed out.
What in the world is this guy thinking? I don't know. I guess that's why he said he was alumni, right? So that's how they're going to look at things like that. I know the quarterback's back. I know he has experience, but I think they're going to miss the left tackle more than they realize. I really do.
I just look at the schedule, and he basically said everything was a win, save Alabama and LSU, and he didn't feel like they were that far off from them.
Oh, I think when they come down here, Jordan Hare, based on what happened 2 years ago, Auburn's going to thump them a good one.
Yeah, I remember the 2 times before when Mississippi State came into Auburn, and it was just, man, it was a drumming in the first quarter like you hadn't seen. I think that could be – I think Auburn is being severely undersold, and I believe David's severely overselling Mississippi State. And we'll see. By the time that rolls around, I mean, Auburn plays Mississippi State at the end of October. It'll be October the 28th. So there'll be a lot of hay in the barn by then.
Yeah, that'll be a lot more. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. 9-3, 10 wins even.
Good Lord.
But anyway, look, I've joked with Luke Robinson on several occasions about Nick Saban being afraid of Hugh Freeze. Now, I'm just joking around. I don't think that at all. But I'll tell you this much. He will have to be more aware of Hugh Freeze than he ever was Harsin or Malzahn. Malzahn didn't want to recruit. Harsin could recruit Stink to a pile of dung.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. We should thank our lucky stars that clown's not at Auburn anymore.
You got it right. Clown's a good word.
Yeah, he was a disaster. I mean, and it was really going to be disastrous this year if he'd have hung around. It's a good thing that Auburn parted ways. And Coach Freeze is doing all the right things since he's arrived in Auburn. And you win by getting players. The coaching has to coach on Saturdays in the fall, but if you don't have the guys, you're not ever going to win a championship. And Auburn's back recruiting the type of players that it takes to win in this league. And everybody knows it. That doesn't mean everybody's scared of Hugh Freeze. But what it is saying is that Auburn's not on the sideline anymore. Everybody's going to have to take notice of them. They're a factor now. You're not just going to sweep in and get whoever you want. Auburn's going to get they're going to get plenty of players that they want. So it's not a free reign anymore.
And the way I worded it, Brett, is you can't get a Kentucky Derby with a mule.
That's exactly right.
And that's kind of what Auburn's been. They've been going out. Not insulting some of the young men that have been down there, but when you're beating out, some of the schools they were beating out for players, you know what you got coming. Now they're swapping guys from Georgia and Alabama and guys that people actually want.
Well, I said it on Auburn Blitz today. You look at guys like T.J. Lindsey from IMG. When you're up against Alabama, Texas, Miami, Texas A&M, and Auburn, those are your top 5. That's the top 5 you want to be included in. High 4-star guys that everybody wants, the top-tier programs in the country want. Well, when you start being in that top 5 for all these guys, now all of a sudden you're a top-tier program again. And so Auburn really feels good about T.J. Lindsey on August the 12th committing. DeAndre Carter from California. Auburn likes their chances with the big offensive tackle. There's 2 or 3 more guys right here that Auburn could land in the next few weeks that would boost them on up into the top 10. And, man, what a breath of fresh air.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. I'll hang up and listen. But the return of Jacquez Hunter today, do you guys think he served a suspension at all? Because I don't, because the guy's been a model player and he hasn't been in any kind of trouble otherwise. So I don't think he served a suspension at all, quite honestly. So I enjoy it, guys. Y'all take care.
Maybe this was the suspension.
Appreciate it, Terry. Thank you always.
I hope.
Again, I think you're right, Andy. I think there were some things that had to be done, from internal. And I think Coach Freeze said, look, we really can't talk about it right now, but we're going to let the process kind of handle itself. I think it may be over.
And, by the way, Caleb Burton, not Caleb Burton, but good grief. Yeah, he's the brother of the defensive lineman,
Caleb
Wooden. Caleb Wooden. All of a sudden back at practice there as well.
Well, that means that should tell you that whatever was going on has been resolved.
Yeah.
They would not be back on the practice field in whatever capacity. I know everybody said, well, he was just out there stretching and, there for quarterback drills. Look, here's the deal. If he's dressing back out, he's with the team.
He's uniform on.
Yeah, I mean, he's back. Thank goodness, man. That's a big, big relief for Auburn.
No question about it. So, as bullish as David, and thank you, David, for being on with us. Really appreciate that. And I'm glad that he's bullish about, because
if you'd have seen my face when he brought that out, it was the face that you saw everybody in the movie Oppenheimer when the atomic bomb.
Well, if you've ever been watching Sanford and Son, and something happens, and
that's what I did.
Fred clutches his chest. That was the view that I saw from Brett.
I was like, wow.
So what's your basement for this?
I mean, I look at their schedule. I look at all the things they're having to battle, and notoriously, again, if you want to look at who Mississippi State is on a year in and year out basis, this is who they are. I mean, 8-5, 6-7, 4-7, 7-6, 9-4. That's their last 5 years. I think they're more of a 6 to 7 win team. I think, I don't see the basement being 8-4 for them this year. We'll see how Zach Arnett handles everything, but Texas A&M, their backs against the wall. Kentucky, I mean, I don't see them beating Kentucky. He just thinks that Auburn is an automatic win for them. That is not the case at Jordan-Hare Stadium. We should have beaten them 2 years ago in Jordan-Hare Stadium. We were beating their brains out, and just whatever Harsin did, it just a complete collapse. We couldn't snap a football.
Or did not.
It just couldn't do anything right. So that was odd. We took a beat-up team that nobody gave a chance to last year and went to overtime. Should have won the game in regulation and lost in overtime, with Carnell as the head coach. Alabama and LSU are losses for them. They got to go to South Carolina. I don't see them beating South Carolina. We just went through that. We pretty much said that's a guaranteed win for South Carolina. I don't.
At Arkansas.
I mean, 6-6, man. 7-4 on a good year. That's about who I think they are.
We're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. About 30 more minutes left in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. 256-234-6221. Give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind. Man, it was so good to hear from James
today on Auburn Blitz, man.
I mean,
yeah, well, I was a little concerned.
I was very concerned.
Yeah, he was a staunch everyday caller and then went and ghosted us for about, I think, 6 months. Was it 6 months?
Well, I mean, I was out for 2 months.
Yes, you were.
So,
well, we talked about you and James. We're like, dadgum, this was the off season of sickness. But
it really was.
Let's hope we don't go through that again.
Please, let's not. But it's, he said that hopefully it's behind him. And
he was apologizing. I said, man, you don't need to apologize.
But we were definitely worried. And David and I talked about that the other day. David said, have you heard from James from Birmingham? And I said, no, I have not.
Well,
but I hope to.
Yeah, good to hear from James. Look, it's football season. It's picking up, and we only have 30 minutes left in the night. These shows fly by in football season and getting ready for football season. We got high school. We did a little talk on high school a few segments ago. If you got anything you'd like to call and add, we'd love to hear from you. Anything out there? Ty said, do I think that Benjamin Russell will stay 6A next year in a reclassification? And the answer is yes. I do think they'll stay 6A. I don't think they'll drop to 5A.
Are we still on the cusp?
We are, but I don't think, I think moving forward. We're
not the smallest, right?
No, and I think our classes coming up are bigger. And so I think we'll be in, pretty comfortably moving forward. So, and I think Opelika will be 7A moving forward permanently. I don't think there'll be any hopping back for them. I just think that's, you embrace who you are and you understand what you have to do, and and you go from there. Now,
isn't it a matter of time before they split Auburn High School?
Yeah, that's coming.
Is it going to be 2 6A or 2 7A?
Well, I think the word on the street's 2 7As.
Good great.
So, I mean, the population, but I was in Nashville last weekend, Andy, and by the way, very good concert with George Strait and Chris Stapleton, and Little Big Town. I'll give Little Big Town credit. They're a good band, but
sure.
I was there to hear the King, and of course Chris Stapleton is, man, what a phenomenal. But anyway, going back, Nashville in 2013 had 660,000 people there living, and it seemed like it was obviously growing. And I've been to Nashville a bunch over the years, and it's always a fun place to go. And Nashville really, in the last 10 to 15 years, has exploded on the scene as the place to go, maybe the most happening city in the South. Well, they've got 2.2 million people there now. So from 13 to 23, they've grown from 600.
You were in construction. That was the time.
Yeah, well, it is, but Andy, it's not even close to being finished. They're building 40 more hotels in the next 2 years in Nashville.
I'm just talking about homes.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, anything. If you're in brick and mortar, or if you're in concrete and steel, Nashville's the place to be. But I want you to think about this.
Or Auburn, Alabama.
Or Auburn, Alabama. And they're having a these areas that are booming, they're booming at a rapid pace. Like Nashville is at 2.2 million. They're thinking by 2030 they'll have 4 million people. That's in 7 years, an additional, 1.5 million more people in that city. They're about to begin building the new dome, $1.5 billion dome for the Titans. But the goal is to land college football national championship, the Super Bowl,
you got to have hotels. You got to meet all these requirements. Nashville's doing that now. And, it's sad on one hand because I enjoyed the Nashville of 660,000 and the dives and the bars on Broadway. And now it looks like a Cirque du Soleil act walking up and down through there, and it's only going to get more crowded.
If they will not make the same mistake that every other city of that size that starts to grow makes, then it's going to end up the same way.
They're already making it.
Leadership is the key.
Reason I say that, Andy, is because I saw things in Nashville this past weekend or weekend before that I had not seen in previous trips up there. And again, when you get more and more people and things, it's a natural progression with these inner cities, and it's sad. I mean, you start to see things break down. You don't have enough law enforcement to keep things in order. It really, from Broadway, from Bridgestone Arena all the way down to the river, is an awesome place to be any time of day, but especially at night. There's plenty of things to do, plenty of, great live music on every 10 feet. There's somebody playing. And, then Titan Stadium's right across the river. You got a little land bridge that you can walk across the Cumberland River. And, but man, with that comes a price. And, but Bridgestone Arena, already where the SEC tournament is, basketball tournament is, the Predators play there. They're going to add this big dome and implode Nissan Stadium, which it needs to be imploded. It's not a very good stadium. But I mean, it's an arms race. Atlanta with Mercedes, Dallas started it with Jerry Jones, now SoFi Stadium in LA. To get these big venues and these big events, you got to have the facilities.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a part of it. We got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Just a couple of more segments left in tonight's
Where
show.
did tonight go?
Thank you so
Come a
much
long
for
way.
being with us. I'm telling you.
Literally.
Yeah. I'm glad that we got the glitch figured out. Maybe we
Right.
figured out how to fix it if it ever happens again.
Hey, that was kind of symbolic of Hugh Freeze coming in and fixing Brian Larson.
Yes, it was.
Maybe some
And
irony
it is
there.
kind of freezing in here. So.
It is kind of freezing. I like it that way, though.
Yeah, I know. Everybody seems to around here. All right, the coaches poll did come out. Auburn actually receiving votes. Not making.
Not according to David Murray.
Not making the top 25 in the coaches poll. Teams ahead of your Auburn Tigers in the
Where's
top 25.
Mississippi State? I can't find
They are.
them. Oh, yeah, they're behind Auburn.
They're behind
in receiving
Auburn, yeah.
votes. Okay.
Boise State ahead of Auburn.
Okay.
In receiving votes. NC State, Fresno State, Arkansas,
Kentucky, Florida.
the Troy Trojans
They had
ahead
a-
of your Auburn
They had a
Tigers.
phenomenal season last year.
Baylor, Kentucky, UCLA, Pitt, UTSA, that would be University of Texas, San Antonio, Florida, South Carolina,
Light.
Iowa.
USC Light.
USC Light, yeah.
Iowa.
Those are all receiving votes.
Okay.
More votes than your Auburn Tigers.
Guess what all that means? Do I expect Auburn to be ranked in the top 25 at the end of the year?
No.
Don't.
No.
I don't think.
Don't want them to be.
Can they get into the poll? I don't know that they even cracked the top 25 this year, but I think the effort and the excitement and the way they're going to play is going to be so much different that, results are what you want, but I think Auburn fans are going to be very understanding of what's going on this year. And Auburn's going to beat some teams they're not supposed to. They're probably also going to lose to some teams they're not supposed to. So
You want to be ranked in the top 25, you're going to win the first 4 games.
yeah, to give
You're going
yourself
to
a
have to
chance.
beat Texas A&M.
Yeah, and
be 4-0.
and we've done well out there.
And
in
I think
College Station.
Auburn will be in the top 25. I'll guarantee that.
Texas A&M, Andy we saw last year, they're going to have really good talent, but has anybody save the 2013 national championship that Jimbo won, unfortunately, that makes me want to throw up every time I bring that up? Is anybody underachieved more than him?
Hard to say no. I don't think so.
Until they prove they can do something. He cries about going 9-1 in 2020, but they didn't beat Alabama. And Alabama had one of the best teams ever in 2020 that rivaled that 2019 LSU team. So I don't want to hear Jimbo cry. Nobody cares, man. You went 9-1 in a COVID year. Congratulations. You didn't win anything. So what have you done for me lately? It has been a debacle in College Station since then. Now he's got Nick Brace Petrino as his offensive coordinator, which a lot of people I've read feel like that's a ticking time bomb between those two guys. So that's going to be something else to watch. We'll see. If Auburn can knock Texas A&M off, I think it spins the season in a whole different direction.
Yeah, one of those two teams is headed up and the other one's headed down.
Right.
Whoever wins that game.
I don't think losing to A&M is going to make Auburn tank.
No, it's not.
But I think Texas A&M losing to Auburn at home could really start to spiral them out of control, because I think they're teeter-tottering on that anyway. I think they're a team that is very fragile from a psyche basis. They've got all the talent in the world to do good things, but nobody really is buying in. No, and I think they have to beat Auburn for people to buy into them if they're going to take them serious.
Well, to David, what he was talking about, he mentioned Kentucky.
Right.
They bring in all these new guys. They got a new quarterback, got a new offensive line. Well, Auburn's is exactly the same way. Plus, nobody in the world knows really what how good Auburn's going to be, or how good they're not going to be. I mean, Hugh Freeze doesn't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody does.
If maybe all these guys on the offensive line, maybe they're cherry picked. They're saying, okay, you're the best on that team, we'll take you. You're the best on that team, we'll take you.
But what does that mean?
Well, you put them all together, maybe they're the best offensive line we've had since 2010. Maybe. Maybe not. You got these wide receivers now that look and appear to be better than we've had in a while, and you think, okay, we could have a better receiving corps we've had in 7-8 years.
Well,
maybe not.
If you want to be honest about it, that nobody knows where to put Auburn. It's a wild guess. So the comfortable thing was to put them at 6 because it's new everything. Nobody knows. They have no expectations. Let's stick them at 6. That tells you about Mississippi State. They thought such less of them. They put them behind Auburn with all the question marks. And again, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you, I appreciate David and his confidence, and he covers them on a daily basis, so he knows. And I mean, and they did go 9-4 last year and fight through a bunch of, adversity, losing their head coach and stuff. But, it's a tough league. And
I want you to think about something, Brett. I want you to let this sink in for a minute, okay? This is where your program is, okay? Because of your coach, Brian Harsin. Mississippi State looks at us as a guaranteed win.
Guaranteed win. Look, I had that.
Whether it's true or not, that's the perception now at Mississippi State is that Auburn.
We got that.
I mean, we'll beat them.
Yeah, I think reality will set back in this year. Things have a way.
Better.
Things have a way of correcting themselves, and I really do feel that way. But hey, look, I talked about it with you before the show, or in the first segment, the roster or the depth chart, and I went over it on the Auburn Blitz today. Andy, really 3, maybe 4 guys off last year's team starting for Auburn on offense. Everybody else is new.
Yeah.
Brand new. I mean, that can be really, really good, or I don't know that it can be worse than what we were, but I think the upside is a lot greater chance of it being an upside than there is a downside. I think you improve at quarterback. I think you improve at wide receiver. I think you improve on the offensive line. You got a veteran running back in Jarquez Hunter with 2 really talented guys behind him. Although being young, but they're 2 really good, talented guys, so I don't feel bad about that. I think you improved there, again, on the offensive line at the tackle positions and at center with Avery Jones. On the defensive side, there are a lot of pieces there that come back from last year. I think Auburn's going to be pretty good, but you add Justin Rogers, who a lot of people wanted in the transfer portal. You add, Jason Jones. You get some guys that are going to help you up front, a freshman in Keldrick Falk that I think is going to really come on as every game progresses. This team, I think, at the end of the season is going to be much better than where they are starting. And, of course, that's the natural progression. You hope every team does that, or every team hopes to be better at the end of the year. But I really think the vast improvement you're going to see from game 1 to game 12 in Auburn is going to be unbelievable. I really do. If they stay healthy.
I think it's a good chance. A defensive line, linebacking core, I mean, I'll have to see it. I'm a little concerned. I'm actually more concerned about the defense than I am the offense right now. I know that's crazy to say.
I just think that I think we are confident, Andy, in the offense.
I love the secondary.
Right.
But the front 7,
we'll see.
I'm
but
not sold.
I like Justin Rogers, man. I like Marcus Harris. I think there's some potential to kind of surprise some people.
Yeah, Jason Jones.
I just mentioned him. That's a big dude, man. So they've got to step up. And
Jalen McLeod
he's getting so much praise right now.
It makes me nervous.
How much praise?
What people?
I know it. Just hold on.
It makes me
nervous. The season's coming.
Yeah. We got to take a break. We'll be back with one final segment of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
So, you finally got the boat, ATV, or side-by-side of your dreams, huh? But make it yours with marine-grade audio that'll provide crisp, high-quality sound that's loud enough to be heard, whether you're cruising on the lake or hitting a mud hole. Come see Steve at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, so you'll be ready to crank up the volume. Whoa, but wait, you don't have to pull out of the water and trailer it to Auburn. The Car Stereo Shop can handle all of your work at any one of the Lake Martin marinas.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your area workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live. Brett, acting or music? Movies or music?
Let's go music, man.
All right, music. Happy birthday today, Ricky Rocket of Poison.
Rocket. How about that?
Born on this day, 1961.
You big Poison fan?
I like these songs.
I like Poison.
Every rose has its thorn.
Is there one better than that?
That is, I mean, that if we're talking about power ballads, that's near the top. Nothing but a good time.
Yeah, no
I'm
doubt.
looking for nothing but a good time.
Something to believe in.
Something to believe in.
It's a good song.
Talk Dirty to Me.
Yeah.
And Unskinny Bob.
Unskinny Bob.
I don't know what that means, but
I don't know that they do. So,
all right. So
there's no question that Every Rose Has Its Thorns, #1.
I would agree with that.
I'm gonna go Something to Believe in too. Nothing But a Good Time 3, Talk Dirty to Me, and Unskinny Bob. That's my.
I don't disagree with that order. I think I'll take that. That's pretty good.
One, didn't I?
You nailed that one. Also, happy birthday today, The Edge.
The Edge.
The Edge of U2.
With or
Born on this
without
day,
you.
1961,
Wow.
same day.
How about
that? Same year. With or without you, still haven't found what I'm looking
He
for.
still hasn't?
To this day.
I mean,
still has
gosh.
not found what he is looking for. Mysterious Ways.
Yeah. You know, you're mysterious.
One and
In the name.
in the name of love.
You like Bono? You're a U2 fan?
I like you too.
Octone Baby?
I like Joshua
Joshua
Tree, and I
Tree.
liked Octone Baby.
Those were in our heyday.
Yeah.
Those were when we were in high school.
Yeah.
So, man, good song.
I didn't put Bloody Sunday. I mean, Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's real good.
Where the Streets Have No Name.
Oh, that's
good
a
one.
real. I love how that song builds, kind of gets bigger. Man, I'm gonna go with, With or Without You first. I like the way you've got this lined up. With or Without You, still haven't found what I'm looking for. In the Name of Love, one, in Mysterious Ways last.
I would put Mysterious Ways in one last, but I like the
You
order
like- okay.
of the order of the other ones too. With or without you, that's just. That's just.
With or without.
I mean, it's just. I can't live
I
with
can't
or
live.
without you.
And you still
Who
haven't
has
found-
not felt that way at some point in their life about some girl or some guy?
There's no doubt. You just feel like, man, if something happens to this relationship, I just can't go on. I can't. The sun
But
will not.
But I can't live within it.
I know, and I'm still trying to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
They got a lot of
It's true.
loose ends out there. So.
It's true.
That's good stuff, though,
Yeah,
man.
You two and Poison. It's hard to.
Hey, Donald Belisario, that's pretty good stuff.
Had
too.
created some great TV shows.
I mean, if that didn't scream 80s, Airwolf and Magnum PI.
Magnum PI, Airwolf, Quantum Leap, JAG, and NCIS.
Quantum Leap was awesome.
Loved that show.
I loved it too.
Loved Airwolf, man.
Oh, Airwolf, man, coming out
Stringfellow
of a volcano,
Hog.
out of a volcano, dude, a helicopter.
Yeah.
The only thing he didn't do was Knight Rider. I mean, you looking at these, but I never watched JAG. NCIS, yes, but I never
watched JAG.
I never watched JAG. I just didn't. So
Thought it was really good. The NCIS was a spinoff of JAG.
okay. Well, and then of course, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Man, Rain Man, Hook, Dick Tracy, Outbreak, and Sphere.
And those are just movies of our generation.
Outbreak, an underrated movie. And boy, it's
I agree.
scary to watch it after COVID. Good gosh.
Yeah, really. Boy, it hit home, didn't it?
It sure did.
Rain Man, great movie, too.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise.
it's such a good movie.
He did a phenomenal job in that.
Right, all right.
But yeah, I mean, Marathon Man and The Graduate, and he's a Tootsie. He's done some Oscar-winning stuff.
He has done some
Dustin
Oscar-winning
Hoffman.
There's some good ones right
great
there.
Actor for sure.
You too, though. I like you too.
You can't go wrong. Just going to wrap it up for us on this edition of Sports Blitz Live. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Be sure to tune into the Auburn Blitz tomorrow, 12 to 1.
You'll be back.
I'll be back with you along with JJ, I guess. Be sure to join us then. He's Brett. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
It's truck season at Sarah Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At Sarah Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at Sarah Honda, Tony Sarah Ford, Sarah Nissan, and Sarah Chevrolet.
Are you looking for something really good for lunch? Are you tired of the same old fast food? Well, go to Buck's. Get a meat in 2 sides or a meat in 3 sides for the best deal in town. Buck's always serves up the best food, including fried chicken, wings, hamburger steaks, catfish, shrimp, and yes, of course, the famous Buck Cheeseburger Basket. And Buck's has dinner specials too. So if it's your turn to cook dinner, Buck's will be glad to do it for you. We appreciate your business and look forward to serving you.
Have you met your local farmer's insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Under underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.